over. She's like, whatever you want it to be, it's yours. But you need to do this at least once a month and make it all about you and change everything. Now I have self-care days in my calendar throughout the month because I realize how much I need to take care of me. Right? But I never knew that until the Who showed up. A Who changed everything. So my question is, who is your Who? Who is your Who? Okay? So now we're going to do the Live Unreal formula. Because this ties into why you're here. This ties into where you want to take your business and where you want your life to lead. So I want you guys to flip to page 26 in your workbook. Okay? And I want you guys to follow along with me. Okay? I want you guys to create some boxes, just like this, on your page. Okay? We call this the Live Unreal. Okay? Live Unreal formula. What does Live Unreal actually mean? Well, I had the privilege and the opportunity when I was on Jeff's team to be a part of the ALC, and we would cram in a room together, and we would try to come up with what's the mission for the Jeff Glover team at the time, which then transitioned over to Glover doing all that we do. And I want you to write this down. Okay? What it means to live unreal is a life so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. A life so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. An unreal life. A life so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. So we created this formula as a roadmap, and we lay out this formula to help agents, to help people that we come in contact with, as a starting point to where you ultimately want to go. So I want you to write down in this box here below, is I want you to write money or income. Okay? Sometimes I scribble and make mistakes on the board, so please don't judge me. Money or income, or basic needs, right? We have to start with, what are our basic needs? When I started on Jeff's team back in 2013, my basic needs were just to feed the family, right? Feed the family. We were on food stamps. Jeff was paying me a draw of $2,000 a month. We had just had our fourth child, family of 6. I didn't even know how it was possible that we lived off of $2,000 a month as a family of 6. We wouldn't have been able to even live if we didn't have the food stamps. So my basic needs were like, okay, I just need to feed the family, make sure my rent is paid, and I know that if I keep doing something and I'm successful, that will all change, okay? And so we put this here because we have to start with something. And now obviously we're entering into the second half of the year. And so in January, when I did the Live Unreal formula, I asked you, what were your 2023 goals? What was your income goal for 2023? Well, now that we're heading into the second half of the year, I want you to write down this, okay? Over here, I want you to put your 2023 income goal, okay? And I want you to ask yourself, and you can write it down on your paper, where are you so far with your income goal? Are you on track? Are you behind? Are you ahead? Okay? Then below that, I want you to put second half. Okay, second half. And we're going to create some second half goals. Because you might be behind right now, which may make you feel discouraged. You may not be where you ultimately want to be for the first half of the year. And you know what? There's nothing we can do about that now. Okay, so I just want you to get that out of here. Okay, go like this. Get it out of here. Okay? Come on, get it out of here. Okay? We're starting clean slate right now. Okay? Clean slate. What is your income goal for the second half of 2023? What do you need to meet your basic needs? Okay? Like I said, there's 2 types of people in the room. Some of you guys, your goal is just to meet your basic needs. Some of you guys are, more established and more ahead. But whatever it is, what's your income goal for 2023? Okay? Let's start there. And you might ask, well, why is money at the bottom? Because if we don't have our basic needs met, then everything else I share going up this formula means nothing. Okay? So we have to start with our basic needs. Okay? Now, the second one is transactions. 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 Okay? In order to hit your second half goal in 2023, okay? You know that number because you wrote it down, hopefully. You still need time, you can do that with me. Take your average sales price, take your average commission. You can do that equation. Some of you guys already know it, some of you guys don't. How many homes do you need to sell this second half of the year to hit your goal? How many transactions, how many homes do you need to sell to finish the year to hit your goal?
6,000.
It's important to understand these numbers. I remember when I was an agent and I would just show up and just throw it up against the wall and hope that it stuck. Lucky enough, it got pretty sticky. Usually it stuck quite often. But what I realized is I was on this like hamster wheel, okay? Just chasing deals, right? Focused on the transaction, focused on the hamster wheel, just spinning, right? And some of you in the room right now might feel like you're on that hamster wheel, and you're just spinning, and you're just spinning, and you're just spinning. But when Kate came into my life back in 2019, she helped me to get very clear on why, or my purpose, or my options. She challenged me and she said, Justin, what is your big why? What is your why? Why are you needing to sell this amount of homes? Why do you want to make the amount of money that you want to make? Why is it that you're willing to show up and put in the work and make the calls and all this stuff? She said, we need to get you really clear on your why. Because when I first joined Jeff's team, I just shared with you, my wife and I, we were in the mortgage business back in like 2005 when things were like really good. And we went from like 6 figures to no figures overnight. We lost everything. And it was very difficult. And I remember, being evicted, and the sheriff came and put all of our stuff in the dumpster. And the day that we were kicked out of our house, my wife, she broke out in hives from head to toe and had to go to the emergency room because she couldn't even help us because she was so distressed that she was losing her home. And I'm the man of the house. I had to figure something out, right? So I had to dig deep down within and find something within me to create a change. And so, in the beginning, my wife and my kids became my why. See, there's some people in the room right now where you're struggling with your business because you're not clear on what your why is, what your purpose is. What is it that you're looking to accomplish? There's some other people in the room that are like, you know what? I've accomplished my why. I've already hit my why, right? I've got the money. I've got success. I'm established. But now you're feeling like stagnant. Maybe you're feeling like this is more of a hamster wheel rather than you being intentional and having a purpose, and having an aim, and having a why. Someone asked me, Justin, what do I do now? I've already accomplished my why. I said, you have to find another why. You have to discover what your next why is. And then Kate comes along because I got there. After struggling, after, beans and rice. And my wife's Mexican, so she makes some good beans and rice, so I can say that. We finally got to a place where money was no longer a motivator. I want you to write this down. Money only motivates you until you have it. So some people in the room right now, you're motivated by money because you need money to meet your basic needs. And then there's some people in the room who are like, I have money. What do I do now? My pocket's open. You can give me some money. Honestly, I'll never turn it down. But honestly, what is the next why for you? What's the next purpose for you? Because like Jeff said, this formula here, what's amazing about our formula is it hits different every time you see it. Why? Because we're in a different place in our lives. This isn't like the corporate ladder. You climb it, you're at the top, and it's over. Right? You can get to the top, and then you come back down, and it's like a cycle because in our lives, we're always going, hopefully, to new levels. And so what is your why? What is your purpose? What are the options you want to have? Why are you here? Why did you make the investment to come here? Why are you willing to spend the next 3.5, 4 days with us here? It's not just money. It's what money can afford. It's the options that money brings. It's the bigger picture. Sometimes we're so focused on money that we miss why we're actually doing it. Because if money was the motivator, every single person in this room would, when you get back to the office, 8 a.m., you pick up the phone and you start calling expired and fist bumps. If it was just about money, because that's a formula too. If you just get on the phones and you make enough calls, sooner or later somebody's going to say yes, you're going to take more listings, you're going to sell more homes. I'm the perfect example of that. All I did was follow the system, right? But it's not just the money. It's not just the money. What's the bigger picture as to why we want to make money and we're willing to go out and put in the work and sell these homes? What's the bigger picture? And when we can get clear on the bigger picture, things change. Yeah, it's hard out there. It's hard for me. My business is slower this year, coming into this year, than it's ever been before. But I've had to double down. I've had to make some changes. Because the market's changing, and rather than getting discouraged and getting out of the business, rather than throwing in the towel, what do you got to do? You got to readjust some things. You got to relook at some things, recalibrate some things. And so rather than being stuck on this hamster wheel, we need to get very clear on why. And not just that, who do we need to help us through this process? You know that 9 out of 10 real estate agents are out of the business in the first 2 years? 90%. 90% of agents are out of the business in the first 2 years. Why? Because they don't have a who. They just come on and try to figure out how. How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? And most people are not going to put this business out on their own. It's just not going to happen. Who do you need to make the amount of money that you need to make in the second half of the year? Who do you need to help you hit your transaction goal? Who do you need to help you get clear on your why and your purpose? Kate really challenged me when we first started coaching together. But it was through that challenging, it was through her digging, it was through her working with me that changed the trajectory of my life. I can truly say that if Kate Simon, right? Here's Kate, right? Kate comes into Justin's life in 2019. There truly is a before and after. Before Kate, after Kate, right? There really is. And guess what? I like this one much better. And not only did Kate help me sell more homes, Kate brought out the best in me and helped me become a better dad, better husband, take care of me better, helped me become a better leader, right? Who do you need? Because a lot of you are here probably on the ride up. You drove, it was 4 hours for me. There's a lot of thinking sometimes when you're driving. And I guarantee there's many people in this room, and I want you to be honest with me because I like vulnerability, because I'm vulnerable with you. How many of you guys know that some things are changing in the industry? You're looking at your business right now, and over the last several months, you've asked yourself, how? How am I going to do this? How am I going to sell more homes? Raise your hand if you've asked yourself, how, right? Majority of you, how am I going to sell more homes? How am I going to make more money? How am I going to get through this change? How am I going to get started? Right? And so, when you look at this, you came here because guess what Glover U is? A who. A who. That's why you're here. Because you look at Glover U as a who. I've heard from so many people, even just being here, about how this organization has helped change their lives. If Glover U has become a who in your life and has helped you go to the next level, help your business go to the next level, help you sell more homes, whether it's a specific coach or just coming to the conferences or maybe one of the group programs, I want you to stand up right now. I want you to stand up. If Glover U has become a who for you and has made a difference in your life and helped you go to the next level, stand up. Pretty incredible, right? Give it up. Yes. come to this conference, they don't miss. They don't miss it. Because just by being in this room and sitting in that chair, your life can change. And that's why you're here. So once you're clear on your why and on your purpose, the next one I want you to write down is to become the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself. See, sometimes it's hard to become the best version of yourself when you're barely making it. Or it's hard to become the best version of yourself when you kind of feel like Michael Jordan did, like, I'm already the greatest player, I'm already the best in the NBA. And sometimes people have the talent, but they get stuck there. And they never start to work on what needs to be worked on in order to become a better version of you. And the reason why we put this here is because once your basic needs are met, once you've got the business part down packed, once you know why you're doing what you're doing and your purpose is there, you kind of like bust through this next level. You're like, okay. Because I'm at a place right now in my life where everything, some of you guys have heard my story, I was in a homeless shelter, got arrested 13 times as a teenager, got into a lot of trouble, made a lot of poor decisions, and I went into this homeless shelter, became a Christian, and changed my life, and in that homeless shelter, I'm laying on this bunk bed, and God began to speak to me and tell me what my life would look like someday. That was 21 years ago. And here I am at 40 years old, sitting on this stage, and everything God showed me in that homeless shelter has come to pass. Everything. So I got to this place, and I remember feeling discouraged. I'm like, how do I feel discouraged? Just bought a big, beautiful house. Me and my wife drive nice cars. My kids are in private school. We're making money. All of these things are, I'm there. And I called Kate. I'm like, why am I discouraged? This doesn't even make sense. She says, Justin, money only motivates you until you have it. What does success look like to you in this season of your life? What does success look like to you in this season of your life? And so if you're in this room right now where you've got it good, things are good, you've arrived, you're successful, what does success look like to you in this season of your life? What needs to happen in this season of your life? And you know what it is for me right now? Impact. And in order to make impact, and in order to lead people, in order to make a difference in other people's lives, I'm going to become the best version of myself. What type of person do you want to be? I want you to close your eyes for a moment. I just want everybody to close your eyes, put your phones down, put your pens down. And I want you to take just a few 30, 60 seconds, and I want you to envision the person that you want to be. The people you want to surround yourself with. What you want to be known for. The amount of money you want to make. The amount of money you want to give. What do you want your health to look like? Physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. What do you want your marriage to look like? How do you want your relationships to look? If you could be the best version of yourself, what does that look like? Get very clear on that. Now open your eyes. That's who God created you to be. That right there is who God created you to be. And you're the one responsible to become that person. It's not going to just happen. It's not going to just happen. I dropped out of high school, got a girl pregnant when I was 17 years old, 8 misdemeanors and a felony, sold drugs to an undercover cop, overdosed, almost died, got beat up by the police, lost my driver's license for 10 years, all by the age of 19. I was an honor roll student in school. My grandfather was going to give me as a law firm if I would have went to college. My life was low, but guess what? God showed me the best version of myself. And I've had to work very hard over the last 21 years to become that person. But can I tell you that? I haven't arrived yet, but I'm on that journey. But guess what? It's worth it. You deserve it to become the best version of yourself, because now when you think about this, when you're the best version of yourself, who benefits from that? Who benefits from you being the best that you can be? Who benefits from you being the best version of yourself? What does that look like? Can you get there on your own? I haven't been able to get where I am without people along my path. And now that I look back over the last 21 years, I've had so many who's along the way. And I haven't arrived. Because now when I look at what does success look like in this season of my life, what is my why, what is my purpose, what is my option, it's to help other people now get their needs met, sell more homes, discover their why, discover their purpose, help them become the best version of themselves. So what? So you can live your most unreal life. A life so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. That's why we're here. That's why we started Glen View. Jeff could have just stayed the #1 team in Michigan. I didn't have to, take on this coaching opportunity. All of our amazing coaches are all successful in their own businesses. But why are we here? We're here because of you. Because we want to become a who to you. We want to help each one of you be able to sell the amount of homes you want to sell, make the amount of money you want to make, really discover why you were created, then come alongside of you to help you become the best version of yourself so that you can live your most unreal life. A life so amazing it's almost unbelievable. We only have this one life to live. Is it hard? Absolutely. But you have to choose your heart. You can either remain where you are, never give it 100%, never take that leap of faith, never push through your barriers, never push through the struggle, never face the fears of the things that have happened to you, never forgive the people who have harmed you, never choose to become the best version of yourself. That's hard. Living a life of regret, living a life that you know there's more for you, there's more inside of you, or you can choose the heart of becoming the best version of yourself, doing the hard stuff, showing up, making it happen. Because it's hard. It's hard. But one hard leads to regret. The other hard leads to reward. You just have to choose your heart. I want to end with this. On page 27, you'll have some exercises that you can do. And I really want you to spend some time over the next 3.5 days getting very clear on what we just talked about. But I want to end with this. This is the power of a who. This is the power of a who. And I asked Kara if I could share a text message that she sent to me and Kate a couple of weeks ago. And I talked to her last night. I'm like, you mind if I share this? You mind if I say your name? She said, you can if you want. I felt that I needed to because she needs to be recognized for the great things that are happening in her life. But here it is. This is the text message. Good morning. The two of you have come to mind so very often over the past 4 years. You both came into my life during a very low time for me personally and subsequently in my business. This time 4 years ago, I had just moved out and left a very toxic relationship and was living in an apartment on my good friends and colleagues' ranch property. I'd started the prospecting boot camp with Kate and was running during that course. I don't remember the conversation exactly, but it must have been something I shared that you and Kate, you connected me with Justin. You both had come alongside of me during this time and were so very patient with me and encouraged me and truly gave me hope and helped me put my business back on track. My 1099 that year was probably that of a glorified Walmart greeter, probably with a few extra bonuses. But I've since more than quadrupled my income in the past few years. At the end of 2019, Justin encouraged me to attend the summit in Orlando, telling me, just trust him, and to know that it would truly change the trajectory of my business. So I literally went on hope and a prayer and stayed in a little Airbnb in a house right off the golf course because I couldn't afford to stay in the hotel that year. I say all that to say because tomorrow I close on my very own home. And as I've been reflecting over the past 3 weeks during this transition, the two of you have come to mind so many times. And so I just wanted to thank you and let you know again how very grateful I am for both of you and the parts that you've played in my business that you probably weren't aware of. And to let you know that the impact of the work that you do. I'm so very grateful for both of you, and I swear I've probably just cried my eyes out most of the last 3 weeks during this transaction, and just pure gratitude because of what God has done in my life and the people that He's aligned me with that have helped me along the way. I look forward to seeing you both in a couple weeks in Traverse City, so thank you again, and just know that you do great work, and it truly, truly does make a difference in the people's lives. It sure did in mine. Give it up for Kara. Flip to a clean sheet of paper, and Jeff, I'm going to call you up. But I want you, over the next 3.5 days, this is exactly how I want you to do it. I want you to put a line right here. And underneath it, I want you to say, is my